Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Adayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namah Om Sahana Vavato Sahana Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Namaste once again, everyone.
Namaste.
So, after completing the discussion on 2 of the 6 internal disciplines, which are called Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi, which are required by a mumukshu, seeker of liberation, was numbered 3A and 3B. Now we have to take up discussion on 3C, the third internal discipline or virtue. And for that we will read the verse number 14. Bahyanalambanam vrittehe yesho paratiruttama sahanam sarva dukkhana apratikara purvakam Chinta vilaparahitam satitiksha nigadhyate. I think we have not done the Anvaya of this sloka in the last class, isn't it? I don't remember. Anyhow, I will do it again. Anvaya is yat we are supplying within bracket. Yat vrittehe bahya analambanam esha uttama uparatihi Sarva dukkhanam sahanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilapa rahitam sa titiksha nigadhyate. This is the Anvaya of this sloka. Yat means those. Vrittehe, thoughts. Bahya analambanam, which do not lean on external objects. Means what? Which do not run behind the external objects. The thoughts which do not run behind the external objects. Esha, this is Uttama, the best. Uparatihi, withdrawal or mental quietude or calmness. Sarva Dukkhana, of all pains. Sahanam, putting up objectively, apratikara purvakam, without looking for remedy, chinta vilapa rahitam, free from anxiety and complaints, sa, that, titiksha, endurance or forbearance, nigadhyate is said to be. So, the non-running of the thoughts or non-leaning of the ego on external objects. Which means what? The thoughts not running behind the external objects is the best form of withdrawal or mental quietude. Then he says, bearing with objectivity all pains without anxiety, complaint, or any attempt for remedy or revenge, is said to be titiksha, or endurance or forbearance. So, two important internal disciplines are discussed in this one sloka. Withdrawal, that is keeping the mind calm, and second is endurance or forbearance. So, just to sort of recap, we are discussing the important qualifications required by a sadhaka for taking up Vedantic scriptural studies. First qualification we saw was Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha. Discrimination between what is permanent and what is impermanent in the world. Then the second qualification that we discussed was Iha Amutra Phalabhoga Viragaha. In short, we called it Vairagyam, which is the absence of longing for enjoyment of pleasures in this world here and hereafter. Either it could be later in this life or in future lives. And the third important discipline is called Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi. This is a set of 6 internal values, internal wealth, or you can call it internal disciplines, starting from Shama, which we have discussed, regulating, managing, and directing the thoughts constantly arising in our mind. Shama is also called Mano Nigraha. Then we saw Damaha, Indriya Nigraha. So for convenience of understanding, we have numbered the 6 disciplines as 3A, 3B, 3C, etc. So Shama is 3A and Damaha is 3B. And which we discussed, Damaha we discussed in the last class, which is a sensory discipline. As I said, Indriya Nigraha. And this needs to be practiced by withdrawing the organs of perception and action, both Karmendriyas and Jnanendriyas, from their respective objects. I gave the example of, which is the example given in Bhagavad Gita also, of a tortoise. Like the tortoise withdraws all its limbs inside when it senses some danger. Similarly, all our these faculties of sense, that is of perception and also of action, they need to be withdrawn within ourselves. And Mano Nigraha and Indriya Nigraha, they complement each other. They are, we can say, like the sides of the two sides of the same coin. So 3A and 3B we have discussed. Now this verse defines the third and the fourth internal wealth, 3C and 3D. The third discipline is called Uparatihi or Uparamaha. Both are synonyms rather. Simple meaning is mental quietude or calmness, freedom from stress and strain, a stress-free, relaxed, calm, poised mind. That condition of the mind is called Uparamaha or Uparatihi. So, by the practice of Shama and Dhamma, by managing our thoughts occurring in the mind and also by withdrawal of the sense organs and organs of action, which are the main input tools for all thoughts to come in our mind. By Shama and Dhamma, we can keep a check on the wandering mind. Where the nature of the mind is wandering. It always entertains unwanted thoughts involuntarily. Just keep quiet, sit down for meditation, just to see what happens. Observe your mind. What all thoughts come into your mind, you will be amazed. So this Uparama, Shama and Dama, they are meant, designed to make the mind calm. So making the mind calm will come under Shama. Whereas Uparati is, after making the mind calm, maintaining that quiet state. Continuity of that calm condition is called Uparati. If we don't have Uparati, what will happen? The mind will become quiet for some time through Shama. But what happens? Immediately, because your sense organs and the organs of action, basically sense organs are active. And they will be going out and perceiving things in the world. What will the mind do? Immediately it will run after the sense organs. It will run towards the external objects, either by visualizing them internally. Sometimes that also happens rather. Actually, you keep your eyes closed. Close your ears also, but the mind will be running behind what you have experienced earlier. So either internally you keep on visualizing, the mind is active, on unnecessary things, on these objects. You might have seen a very beautiful dress in a show, in a mall, which you visited 2 days ago. You saw that, forgot about it. Now that mall is not in front of you, but when you close your eyes, you are visualizing your visit to the mall. Beautiful dress. I should now plan to buy that dress. It's very expensive, but somehow I have to make a plan. If it is the lady of the house, she will also have to plan how to convince the husband to get that dress for her. Of course, these days things have changed. Ladies are also earning, so they don't even need to consult the husband. They'll just go and buy it. So all these things, visualizing all these external objects, which will not contribute a dime to your spiritual pursuit. But the mind will go behind all these things. So visualizing them internally, or by seeing them externally through the sense organs. You are seeing something, IPL match, you are seeing, mind does, oh, this fellow should have done that and that should have been done. This captain is useless. All, you are experts. You are better players of IPL cricket than the people who are actually playing, selected to play. Mind will go on doing all these things. All these thoughts will be there. As they say, mind is like a monkey. It cannot be kept quiet for long. It will keep jumping here, jumping there. That is its nature. In fact, in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, talking of Mano Nigraha, Arjuna tells Krishna, this all you are saying is fine. But Chanchalam hi Manak Krishna Pramati Balavadridam. Tasyaham Nigraham Manye Vayoriva Sudushkaram. The mind is restless, Krishna, turbulent, obstinate, very strong. And he says, oh Krishna, to subdue the mind, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. Even wind you can control, but I cannot actually, control the thoughts occurring in my mind. And Krishna agrees. He doesn't give a lecture to Arjuna, no, you must do and all that. Krishna says, Asamshayam Mahabaho, no doubt, Arjuna. Oh, great Arjuna, great warrior. The Mahabaho means the person who has got, very strong arms. Asamshayam Mahabaho Mano Durnigraham Chalam. The mind is always restless. That is the nature of the mind. You can't do anything about it. But what you can do, abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. So undoubtedly the mind is restless and very difficult to curb its movements. Durnirgraham chalam, to curb its movements. But it can be done by constant practice, abhyasena, and vairagyena, and detachment. That is why these qualifications are all important for a sadhaka. These qualifications are not required for a samsari, a person who is not in the spiritual path, who has not set his goal, spiritual goal in life. He just wants to live his life for whatever years are there, enjoy, and then go away to come back again in some other form or the same form. Therefore, not allowing the mind to go out wandering, but keeping it constantly in a calm condition is called uparatihi. Therefore, the Acharya says, Yesha Uttama Uparatihi. This is the definition of the best form of uparatihi. What is the definition? He says, Yat vrittehe. As I said, Yat we have supplied, right? Yat vrittehe, which thoughts? Vrittehe means thoughts. Bahya analambanam. Alambanam means holding or taking to. Alambanam. So analambanam means not holding to or not taking to, not running after the external objects. Here bahya means bahya vastu, external objects. Therefore, after attaining mano nigraha and indriya nigraha, uparatihi is that condition of the mind where the thoughts are not once again running after or taking up external objects. The mind is not becoming extrovert once again. The extrovert mind is pulled in by Shama, and by Uparama, I make sure that the mind doesn't become extrovert once again. So what we have to do? If the mind does not go out again, or we have to prevent the mind from going out again, we will have to give some other task to the mind. And that is why all this practice of meditation, contemplation, all these things are advocated. Choose one thought and dwell on that thought for a continuous period of time. Because like before the class, especially in Bhagavad Gita classes and all, here of course we don't do that. We chant dhyana slokas. In Bhagavad Gita, very beautiful dhyana slokas are there. Starting from Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam. So we chant that before the Gita class. What is the purpose? Purpose is that the mind should be withdrawn from all thoughts of family, profession, office, social issues. All of them, the mind should be withdrawn and the mind should focus on the class. If you bring the mind to the class, it is shamaha. And thereafter, the mind should remain in the class for an hour or so. That condition is called uparamaha. Otherwise, what will happen? After a few minutes, it will keep on running out. Your physical body will be in the class. Eyes will be glued to the Acharya. Ears, of course, whatever is being spoken will enter the ears, but it will only enter the ears. It will not enter the mind, because the mind is occupied with so many other thoughts. So making sure that at least for 1 hour, your mind doesn't run away from anywhere else other than focusing on the subject of what is being taught, that is Uparamaha. So therefore, what is Uparati? Means enjoying a relatively calm, composed mind. And not only for spiritual pursuit, this is a very important discipline for any activity. Only a composed mind is 100% available for any activity. Cricket players, batsmen and all, when they go out in the match, test match or whatever it is to bat, their 100% focus should be there on sighting the ball, where the ball is coming, how I am going to, because in split second they have to decide. The bowler is a very smart person. He will change the way he bowls. Different types of balls he will give so confuse the batsman. So unless the batsman keeps his mind calm and focuses on each and every ball, he will become out. One small mistake, gone. And that's why, whether it is sports, take, the some of the scholars, like scientists and all that. You must see them working rather in their laboratories. Focus so much, they forget about everything. That's how they achieve success rather. Because a preoccupied mind is a shallow mind. It is incapable of focusing or assimilating. Especially coming to Vedanta, it's a very deep subject. Very subtle concepts are discussed in Vedanta. By the time Acharya says something, initially for students, if you ask them, oh, you attended Vedanta class today, what happened? They, most of the students will say, whatever the Guru told went above our head. This is a standard thing everybody will say. A statement everybody will make, went above our head. It will go above the head only, because your mind is not trained to listen, to understand, to critically hear. If the Guru is saying something and if your mind is there, either the mind will accept what is being said or it will not accept what is being said. If it does not accept, then obviously you will have to raise the question. So even for raising questions, you have to be attentive in the class. So therefore, Uparama is a very important qualification. Continued quietude of the mind, continued calmness of the mind. So this is 3C. Then the fourth internal discipline, 3D, is called Titiksha. Again, a very, very important qualification. In fact, Bhagavad Gita, in the Gita, Lord Krishna talks repeatedly about Titiksha, several times. In the second chapter, he says, Agama apayino nitya hai tam titikshasva bharata. Then 13th chapter, Amanitvam adambitvam ahimsa kshanti rajhavam. Kshanti here means titiksha. Then 16th chapter, he will say, Teja kshama dhriti shaucham adroho nati manita. Again, the word kshama he uses. So titiksha, shantihi, kshama, all are mean the same. They are all synonyms. Again and again, Krishna emphasizes to Arjuna, it is the value of this discipline. So, in simple words, titiksha means endurance or tolerance, or we can say forbearance. Generally, there is a degree of tolerance or endurance we develop as we grow up. Isn't it? Because as a child, suppose there is a cut in your finger, blood comes out. The child will cry, oh, it is paining, and things like that and all. When you are 20 years, 25 years old, if you have a cut, will you again cry like a child? You will not. There is a pain, yeah, you will endure it. Okay? Tolerate the pain. So this titiksha, in general, I mean, as a normal process itself, we actually increase the titiksha without our even knowing it or deliberately doing it. The titiksha increases for us as we grow up. But the importance of titiksha for a spiritual seeker comes when especially we face difficulties in life, painful situations in life, whether it is physical pain or emotional pain, especially as you grow older. Because if you look at our life, endurance is 3 stages we can see. Early stage, childhood, endurance is very low. Then as we grow up, endurance increases, the tolerance levels increases. Then as we become old, let's say 60 plus and all that, again the endurance level comes down. In between, you may be able to manage to some extent painful situations. But physically it's fine, but it is very difficult to manage emotional pain. Therefore, more than developing physical endurance, which is necessary, which is not something that it is less important, more important is developing endurance for all emotional pains. And this is important because life of every human being involves experience of both pleasurable and painful conditions and situations. There are pleasant experiences, unpleasant experiences. And according to the Shastra, we have taken this birth, we have taken this body because of what? Our Purva Janma Karma. Bhagavan has given me this life not because Bhagavan wants me to have this, or he has made some, he has a love or liking for me. We have asked Bhagavan for this by our own karmas in the previous Janma or Janmas. And even though we may not know it, our previous actions are a mixture of both good and bad. Even today also, in this life also, all our actions, if you analyze, they are a mixture of both good and bad. And that is called Punya Karma or Papa Karma. Some of those Punya Papam which have not fructified in the past birth are fructifying in the current birth, and that is called Prarabdha Karma. Ready for fructification anytime from the moment of birth up to the last breath or death. And this Prarabdha Karma is invisible. And this invisible karma keeps fructifying one after the other as we lead our life. And therefore, when Punya Karma fructifies, We go through wonderful, pleasurable, happy experiences. If you look at in many of the happy experiences, we have not even worked for it rather. Still it comes to us. Without deserving, we get a windfall. But some other times, though we have done no mistake in the current Janma, we go through very painful conditions. Why? Because of the past karmas, which is fructifying now as prarabdha. We try to find the reasons. Oh, this fellow has got that disease. He's such a nice fellow. He doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that and all. Still he got that. Why? If we are ignorant people, we will blame God. If we are little bit knowledgeable, we will know it is because of the previous Janma prarabdhas that the suffering we are undergoing in this Janma. And we must understand that one of the purposes of our life, a human life, or for that matter, any jiva, is exhausting the prarabdha karmas. But as human beings, we do have one advantage, the faculty of free will. So by using free will, we can certainly try to remove or at least reduce some of the papams or some of the results of the bad karmas which we have done. Therefore, we do have the power and resource to remedy the difficult situations. Some problems are preventable, but certain other difficulties are not preventable, but they are remediable. But there are others which are not preventable, not remediable, and we have to go through them. They are called prabala prarabdham, which is neither preventable nor remediable. We have to endure them. They are choiceless pains, choiceless difficulties. Every living being, every human being without exception will have to go through all these pains. Of course, my choiceless problem will be different from your choiceless problem, but we all will have our own unique choiceless difficulties. In the Gita, Lord Krishna calls them apariharyerthe. He says, Tasmat apariharyerthe natvam shochitum arhasi. Natvam shochitum arhasi. Because when we go through these such choiceless difficulties, what are we supposed to do? They are choiceless, so we can't do anything with them, isn't it? Here alone, our free will and intelligence are useful. Our scriptures say, by using your free will and effort, build up your endurance power. Not after the choiceless phase comes. I mean, you don't look for digging a well when the house is burning, isn't it? You have to do it even before such situations arise. And since without exception, everyone has to go through some choiceless pain or the other, it is better that we build up the endurance. It is like building up physical immunity, building up our inner wealth of endurance, building up our internal immunity is also extremely important. And what is the advantage of doing so? What is the advantage of building up this endurance? Even though the pain will come because of prarabdha, when we have endurance or tolerance, the impact of the pain will be greatly reduced. We won't feel the pain that much. Impact reduction takes place even though no change happens in the pain itself. The pain remaining the same, we reduce the impact by increasing our endurance. The greater the endurance, lesser the impact. Lesser the endurance, greater the impact. And that's why, we would have observed in a typical family situation, if there is a problem that befalls on the entire family, we will find that all family members will not react in the same manner. Some are able to take it as part of life without extreme reactions, whereas some others will flare up, react violently. Even though they are all facing the same problem only, the responses are different because of the differences in their inner strength. Therefore, inner strength is very useful in facing choiceless pains. That means what? Titiksha is compulsory for everyone, especially more so for spiritual seekers. See, when we go through the middle age and all that, we have to always keep in mind that we have to face the old age, disease and death. And during that period, when titiksha is less, the impact of the pain is more. And when the impact is very high, the indication is it will generate varieties of toxic emotions, thoughts, worries, and anxieties. Therefore, even at a physical level, lesser the endurance, the emotional disturbance will be more. Even before a problem comes, I will fear for the future, constantly imagining the problems and worrying whether I will get this problem or that problem. But if there is endurance, I will have the capacity to face them. I will face it. When the problem comes, when the bridge comes, I will cross it. I don't need to worry about it. I am relaxed. I don't dwell in or fear the future. Thus, this titiksha or endurance is also a remedy for fear. And there is one more aspect. When the tolerance is low, anger is high. Intolerant people often flare up. Not only they suffer, they give problems to others also. Therefore, anger as such has got only one remedy. There is no other remedy for anger, which is what? Building up the tolerance level, increasing the tolerance level. Therefore, fear, anger, depression, frustration, stress, all these are toxic emotions generated by the mind which does not have titiksha or does not have sufficient titiksha. Therefore, the scriptures point out that start developing titiksha from early in life. So the first lesson is develop tolerance. So now the question will arise, how to build up tolerance? Scriptures point out that there is only one method. What is that? You develop the power of enduring the pain only by enduring the pain. As Puja Swamiji says, you can learn swimming only by swimming, not by reading a book like How to Swim in 30 Days and all that, or some other guidebook like that, isn't it? You have to get into the water, try to swim, go down, gulp a lot of water, struggle, and then float and swim. You have to struggle to pick up swimming rather. Similarly, children, when they start, kids start learning to walk, they can't just be told, okay, you have to get up and put your legs straight and then walk like this and all. They won't understand. They have to learn walking only by walking, by falling down, getting up again. That process has to be there. So, endurance of pain is the only method to build up tolerance. So, whatever skill that you want to develop, you have to practice that, isn't it? If you want to become a good batsman, you have to practice, batting rather, constantly practicing, how to bat. In fact, people who act in dramas and all that, we go and watch the plays and we appreciate their acting, but nobody understands how much of practice has gone behind that stage show. Months together, they would have practiced rather to perfect their dialogue delivery, their movements on the stage, their hand movements, their facial expressions, all that, months of practice is required. Therefore, skill comes only with practice. Therefore, face the pains squarely without trying to escape from them. In fact, voluntarily we should choose to undergo at least certain minor types of pains as a means of developing titiksha. Choose some minor discomforts like, trying to remain without AC in a very hot summer afternoon, even when power is there. Not eating your food a few hours before Grahanam. Observe Ekadashi Upavasa. Go through the hunger pangs and see whether you can go through with that or not. You have to subject yourself to these kind of experiments in order to find out how much endurance that you have, or you need to develop more. So, titiksha we develop by voluntarily going through painful situations. Either by voluntarily inviting difficult situations or going through difficult situations that arise without complaining. When we voluntarily go through pain, it is called tapas in Shastra. That is why, vak tapas or not vak tapas, maunam. Maunam also increases titiksha. Because if you observe, many people have got this compulsive desire to keep on talking. Human tendency. They want, whenever they meet people, yak, talking. Gives them pleasure. But when you observe mauna, then you are not supposed to talk. You are inviting a problem on yourself. You keep your shut. Even somebody says hello to you, you don't respond. Therefore, any form of tapas, which is what willfully going through the difficulties, is the best method for building up titiksha. And here Shankaracharya gives certain conditions under which the tapas will work. What's the first condition? He says, Sarva dukkhanam sahanam. In all types of pains, whether choiceless or voluntarily chosen by using free will. For example, you have decided to observe Nirjala Ekadashi Upavasa. I think many of you know what is Nirjala Ekadashi Upavasa, because the Ekadashi Upavasa is practiced, different practices are there depending upon one's own titiksha levels. There are people who practice Nirjala Ekadashi Upavasa. Nirjala means you cannot drink even water during the Upavasa time. Forget food, even water you cannot drink. Very tough. Because generally one can skip a meal or two. And for many people that is difficult. But added to that, if we cannot drink water also, especially during summer, it is inflicting extreme pain on oneself. But there are people who do it. It can be done with practice. Therefore, once you have taken a vow, a decision to go through a particular difficult situation, you go through and complete the entire vow without breaking the vow or taking to some remedial measures in between. There will be hunger pang. There will be thirst pang in between. When that happens, do not rush to drink water or eat some banana or some other fruits. So the first condition is, once you decide to go through with it, don't look for remedy in between. He calls it apratikara purvakam. Pratikara means remedy. Don't take to any remedy in between. Go through it entirely. Then the next condition he says is Chinta Vilapa Rahitam. We can split this into two. Chinta Rahitam and Vilapa Rahitam. Chinta Rahitam is, once you have decided to go through a particular difficult situation, do not keep on mentally dwelling about that difficulty or pain all the time. You are observing Ekadashi Upavasa. But what is going on in your mind? Oh, I am hungry. When will the evening sunset happen so that I can eat something? Or I am thirsty, I should not have taken this Nirjala Upavasa. No, all the time the mind is engaged only in the thought of hunger and thirst, even though you are practicing Upavasa. So, Chinta Rahitam means throughout Ekadashi, do not think of hunger and thirst. Because the correct way to observe any Upavasa is to spend the day in meditation, in prayers, in Upasana of the Lord. When you direct the mind, redirect the mind to something else, something worthwhile, which is the purpose of the Upasana itself, or the Upavasa itself, then your mind will be kept away from dwelling on the discomfort. If it continues to dwell on the discomfort like hunger, thirst and all, the whole purpose of the Upavasa is defeated. And your attempt to develop titiksha will fail. And also, if your mind keeps on dwelling on the discomfort, then it will not be available for any other constructive activities also. So, Chinta Rahitam means don't dwell on discomfort. Discomfort will be there because you have chosen it. I have decided to go through it. I am not going to think about it. I am not going to dwell on it. Like some people, they take a decision to walk to Kedarnath or Yamunotri and all that. Lot of difficulties on the way. There's no point, as you are walking, keep on thinking, oh my God, it is so difficult, or talking about it with others. Enjoy the journey, the scenery. You may be tired. Doesn't matter. Sit down for some time. Keep walking. So, Second condition of tapas, don't dwell on the pain mentally, chinta rahitam. And the third one is vilapa rahitam. Vilapa rahitam means don't talk about the pain to all the people who are coming around you, telling them your sob story. Oh, today, I can't do anything. I am observing Upavasa. I am feeling so famished. I am feeling so tired. Don't ask me to do anything. All these things, I have this problem, I have that problem. Oh, it's so tough, etc. If the other person who is hearing is a well-meaning person, not only we will be in pain, we will freely donate the pain to others also. Vilapa means wailing, lamenting. So do not lament constantly. So without talking about it constantly, without looking for remedy in between, you practice tapas. That will help you to discover your real inner strength. In fact, if you just look back a couple of years, the challenges all of us faced during lockdown was a great tapas. It was a great ideal opportunity to practice titiksha. Domestic help was not available. Getting vegetables and provisions, etc., was a big challenge. We can't go out of the house anywhere. We have to practice, so many other disciplines like washing our hands and whatnot, using all these sanitizers and things like that and all. We have to do all the work by themselves. Whole family was at home managing, which itself was a big challenge rather. Husband home, children home. For ladies, it was a very big challenge. Initially, we wondered, how are we going to manage all this? But we were able to manage. We were able to discover our inner strength to manage these choiceless situations. So, God forbid, next time such a lockdown happens, we will know how to manage. We will have the inner strength to manage. We have already developed certain degree of titiksha. Therefore, by facing difficulties when they come and willingly going through them and using them as sadhana is called tapas. Pain can become tapas. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it is said, Etadvai paramam tapo yad vyahitas tapyate. Means, even in our sickness can be used as an opportunity for practicing tapas. In fact, we used to do it in earlier days. When you have got fever, don't eat, don't drink, don't do this, don't do that. Hunger will be there, but upavasa, again. In Malayalam, it is a langanam parama aushadam. Any problem with the stomach is there, just don't eat anything, starve the stomach. It will repair itself. Therefore, enduring whatever difficulties the body goes through is tapas. In fact, as Swami Paramatmananda says, in our tradition, of course, this may look like a joke, but it's a fact. Our scriptures say that the best form of tapas is considered to be grihasthashrama. Going through the family life will give all kinds of situations to develop physical endurance and also a lot of emotional endurance. A person can get that only if he willingly accepts all the ups and downs, all the differences of opinion and disparities, etc. All of them are taken as tapas. And a Grihastha ashrama will have all these things, where we will come across different personalities, each with their own likes and dislikes. So the vow one has to take is, I have entered Grihastha ashrama for practicing yajna dana tapaha. Therefore, I will go through varieties of difficulties, physical, financial, emotional, etc. Maybe a difficult spouse or a difficult children or difficult in-laws. I am willing to go through all that without looking for remedy, without taking sannyasa. This should be the vow. In the Gita, Arjuna wanted to escape his Kshatriya duty by taking sannyasa. Therefore, one should resolve, I don't want to escape from Grihastha I will use it for developing titiksha. Thus, titiksha is an important value. If you take sannyasa ashrama, also we require titiksha, because a sannyasi will have to accept any type of food, any type of place, any type of health condition. In fact, he doesn't have any resource for remedy also. So just as Grihastha ashrama requires titiksha, sannyasa ashrama also requires titiksha. In fact, more titiksha is required in sannyasa ashrama. Because the sannyasi cannot look for any help from any person or resources, etc. Therefore, all ashramas require titiksha. We can go on and on and on. But if we do, there is a danger of all of you losing your titiksha and stop attending this class. So the greatest advantage of developing the discipline of titiksha is that we can reduce fear and anger because we are ready for any situation. We have endurance. When we know that there will be unfavorable situation and we knowingly accept them, we will not get angry. Moreover, we will understand that in such situation, anger does not help rather. In fact, it may create more difficulties. So he says, Sa titiksha nigadyate. This endurance of difficulty is called titiksha. So far we have seen 4 of the 6 internal wealth required. 3A Shama, 3B Dhamma, 3C Uparama Uparati, 3D Titiksha. Now we go to 3E, the 5th internal value or wealth. We will read the next sloka. I think we got a couple of minutes. Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya Satya Buddhyavadharana Sa Shraddha Katita Sadvihi Yaya Vastupalabhyate. 15th sloka in our list. The anvaya of this sloka is very simple. Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya Satya Buddhi Avadharana Sa Sadbihi Shraddha Katitha Yaya Vastu Upalabhyate. Shastrasya of the Shastra, Guru Vakyasya of the words of the teacher, Satya Buddhi Avadharana, a conviction that it is true. Sa, that, Sadbihi, by the wise people, by the noble people, Shraddha, Shraddha, faith, we can translate it roughly as faith or belief. Katitha is said to be, Yaya, by which, Vastu, the truth, Upanabhyate is known. So this sloka says, that conviction that the Shastra and the words of the teacher are true is said to be Shraddha by the wise, by which the truth is known. So the 5th internal wealth is named Shraddha. We will see more of it in the next class. Okay. I'll stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Namaste.
Thank you, Guruji.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ
धन्यवाद गुरु जी.
हरि ओम गुरुजी. धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
धन्यवाद.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskaram.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
Namaste, Guruji. Thank you.
Yes, Sachin Tendulkar ji, the opening batsman. Hari ji, go ahead.
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om.
Guruji, Uparati and Uparama are same.
Same. Different words. Different places, somewhere Uparama is used, somewhere Uparati is used. That's all. Okay. Any other question? Looks like no questions are there. Good. If there are no questions, either people have understood everything or not understood anything. These are the two extreme situations. But I take it positively because you are all not new to Vedanta. So, and this topic we discussed is very simple, straightforward, kind of a thing, talking about the disciplines. So, there's not likely to be many questions in that.
Maybe think of it next time. Think of a question next time.
Probably.
Oh.
See, the thing is that we have to keep on working on all these things. And if you are really serious about the spiritual pursuit, little by little, improvement keeps on taking place as we practice all these things. That is the reason. The thing is, what we should do, suppose you have to take a particular exam. So, for example, let's say JEE or what is that called NEET exam. You must know what are the subjects you should study and how to study them and all that. Similarly, when you are in the spiritual path, you should know how to develop all the qualifications for, understanding eventually what the Vedanta and Upanishads talk about that. So these are all the building blocks for that.
But the questions arise when you can have different thought process for the same.
Correct.
Here, endurance and Shraddha, you say Shraddha Padigaradala. So it's something that comes in every day.
Correct.
So, like the question comes of detachment and belonging, or they are the typical thing which takes you on a different tangent.
Yeah. See, many times if we observe that we face a challenge and then we look back in our life, have I faced a similar challenge earlier? And you find that there were more difficult situations which you have faced earlier and have come out of it rather. That itself gives you a confidence that I can face this challenge also rather. So many times, during our growth process, we forget what all things that we have done in our life earlier. And I always feel, yesterday if I have done that, today I should be able to do better. So that kind of improvement, constant improvement also helps in building up all these qualifications. And whenever Shastra talks about this, it is not asking you to perform some impossible human task, right? This has been done by people. So you also do it. We will guide you how to do it rather. But eventually you have to do it. That's what the Shastra says. Yes. That's it. Anyhow, good.
Thank you.
Guruji, one personal question during I will be in Coimbatore during the last week of June and in Chennai during last week of May in Coimbatore and first week of June in Chennai. by chance, you would be in any of these places during
I
this?
will be in Coimbatore from the 27th of May to 6th of June.
Okay.
In
Is it?
between, I will go to Ooty for 3-4 days. So when will you be leaving Coimbatore?
I will be landing in Coimbatore on 25th and leaving for Chennai by midday of 31st May.
So I will be, if you want to meet me, 27th will be a good day. Because 28th morning, I will be leaving for Ooty.
Okay.
So 27th is the only day initially I will be available. Then when I come back from Ooty on the 2nd, then I will be there till 6th for 3-4 days. I will be in Coimbatore.
Okay, so you are planning to be in Coimbatore from?
26th evening I am arriving.
Yeah, you are okay.
27th I will be in Coimbatore. 28th I go to Ooty.
Okay, 25th.
So 27th, if your diary is free, you can.
You are somewhat free on 27th.
Yeah. As of now, I don't have, but depending
Where
upon.
will you be staying?
In Nana Nani, phase 4, Vadavalli.
Okay, I will be in phase 5. My brother is there. Phase 5.
Oh, nearby only, no?
Okay.
Nearby only.
Okay,
You can
then.
join me for lunch on 27th.
Okay.
You can come down.
Okay, so good.
So that we can do, certainly. It'll be nice meeting you personally.
Yeah, I have been dying to see you.
No, don't say dying. Wanting to see you. Okay.
Let's see.
So you can mark your diary. I mean, you can confirm it to me.
Yeah.
Because
no, I will definitely.
So you can join me for lunch, and that will be a double purpose. We can meet and also have lunch together.
Okay, good.
And phase 4 is usually you can find out from phase 5. You can easily come down.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay then.
So make a note around say.
Yeah. No. I will. It is
around
already.
Around 11:30, 12. You can come.
Yeah. No, I will be in touch with you.
Yeah, be in touch with me. Okay.
Yeah, I will be in touch. So I don't have to note. It is already noted in my.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Okay. Thank you.
Right then. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll meet on next Sunday. Hari Om.
Dhanyawad.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Guruji.
Guruji.
Thank you.
Thank you.